Hi everyone. So in this tutorial we are going to discuss about ALV report. We will also create an ALV report and then we will try to see the functionalities which come as an part and parcel of the ALV format. And then to give you a bit idea on this, basically ALV stands for ABAP list viewer or maybe advanced list viewer, wherein it tries to simulate a lot of functionalities or most of the functionalities of an Excel sheet, and then if you copy the data from an ALV output to an Excel sheet, it goes exactly, I mean it will be very similar. And then you can sort it, you can do a subtotal, you can create an interactive ALV, uh, you can do a lot of things. You can create an hotspot there, you can click on something, it will take you to the transaction. So there are so many things. You can put coloring also. So to start with, we will try to create a simple ALV report so that it will give you an idea, and then it will basically give you a kind of I would say it will make you capable of going to internet and then explore much more about it. Just a second. So you can try to I mean simulate uh, other things also. So I mean let's start with the basic ALV report, and then let's try to add more things into it. So to start with, we'll go to CAT. So what we will do, we'll create a sample ALV program. So of course it doesn't exist, we will create it with top include. One second. So I think you are already used to these steps, so it's not a problem. So this is a normal process. Select a package and then save it. Double click here. Let's activate this. Now go to change mode, enable F01 like we were doing earlier. Save it and then add it in the same transport. So if we go to our previous program, we will follow the same pattern here. In the top, we will do our declaration. These things, I mean, you can take care whenever you're doing it in real time. Initialization, we will be using the same events at selection screen, start of selection, end of selection, like that. So we already have our includes here. In this, we can do our declaration. So the very first thing to create a normal ALV report would be to add a type pool. So SLIS is a standard type pool provided by SAP. Okay, type pools. if you double click on SLIS, it will take you to the source code of that type pool, type group, wherein you will see that lot of things are already predefined here. So basically, it's, I mean, declaring this type group in your source code is going to inherit all the properties of this type pool in your program. So you can see so many things are here. Subtotal. So these things will be basically used somewhere in some way. You can see field name, position, table name. So that is the first thing we will call it here. The other thing which you need to understand is the concept of field catalog. So basically, field catalog is something like which handles the properties of a particular field. So that is something called field catalog. We can set colors, we can set hotspot, we can set the positioning, we can make a reference to a particular table, a particular field, and all. So that is one thing. Second thing which you need to know here is that there is a standard function module. Reuse ALV grid display. Now, basically this is the function module which will convert our internal table into an ALV output. So just to remind what exactly an ALV output is. So if you see the data in this format, then this is called an ALV output. If I go to setting, user parameter, see here I have selected ALV grid. If I select ALV list, it will come in a different format, but then properties I mean of the ALV standard properties provided by SAP would still be there, like sorting and other things, but then the output or the look and feel would be different. We'll just have a look at it. It's taking a lot of time. So this function module takes a lot of things as an input and then displays the data in an ALV output. So the other thing which you would like to notice here is that if I want to check that this function module is being called in what all programs, in a similar way, sometime you might want to check that. So this one is an ALV list output, but the standard things are still there, sorting and downloading into Excel sheet. And so this one is basically it's a kind of menu that comes along with the standard ALV. So this one is ALV list. That was ALV grid which I showed earlier. This one looks very similar to our Excel sheet. You can do a sorting here. You can put a filter here, and then you can download into Excel sheet. You can, if there is a numeric thing, so you can do a total or subtotal on this one. That option is not coming here. So, and then if I go to this standard list, so this one is very similar to our normal um, reports which we did some time back. So normal classical report. kind of thing. So like I said, if you want to know that what all places this function module is being used, there is a standard option provided by SAP that is called where used list. This is very useful. If you select something and then click on where used list, hit OK. So I want to check that in what all programs this is being called. That's it. So if I hit OK, so it will display all the programs where this function module is used. It could be a standard program, it could be a custom program. So you can see that 180 hits are there. If I go to the end, there could be some custom programs as well. So all starts with G and Y, basically it will be custom program. So if you double click on any one, so it will show you the object which you were trying to search. So basically I was trying to search for huge ALV grid display. Now if you double click here, it will take you to the source code. So here it's being called. Similarly, there could be a scenario wherein you want to know that this particular field is called in what all programs. So you can do a where use list in that case also. So as name itself explains here that what all places this particular object is used, it will navigate you. It will take you to there and you can navigate around. So that is something about ALV report. We will close all the useless sessions and then we'll come to our main point. So what we are going to do here is we are going to display the sales order headers in the output in ALV format. For that, I will be needing a selection screen. So selection screen, begin of block V1, something like this. Okay, so I'm going to use the select option. You already know that what is the select option, S underscore VPLN for VPAK-VPLN, something like this. So I want to give all the sales, maybe a sales order range in my selection screen. And then activate this. So as I explained earlier, we need to declare the table also. Tables. So I also would like to explain here is that this is not the correct way of doing it. Table statement is obsolete in ECC6. So what we can do, we can declare a structure. So something like data. Data gs underscore vbak type vbak. Now we can make it like gs underscore vbak. So this would be a better way of doing it because table statement is obsoleted now. now we'll go to text element, selection text, make it standard, pull it from dictionary, activate, it will take the text directly from VBAK text system. So now if I run this, we have a selection screen netlist. Here we didn't mention which frame, so now you'll see the frame as well. We have a frame here. The other thing which we can do right away that we can create a transaction for this. Create transaction GLV. Zip this text. Program with the selection screen as I mentioned earlier. Copy the program name from here. Give it here. Save it. Now we have done some of the basic things. So we have a selection screen. Now what I want to do, data. No, we want to declare a type structure. Types begin of ty_vbak, and then I'll go to VBAK and copy some of the fields from there which can be called in the output. So you know how to do it. We are just copying some of the fields randomly. Till now we are not doing anything new here. We are creating a normal, and then in this report itself I'll show you how to update a Z table, and I'll also show you that how to use a join statement. So we will, these things we will take it as a part of our ALV report itself. Even though it might take 2 to 3 days, doesn't matter, we will do a lot of things on ALV report itself. This one comes. So I have a basic structure with me now. So data IT_VBAK type table of ty_VBAK. Like this. So now I have an internal table, I have a work area, and then I have a structure. So till now everything is fine, but then as I mentioned, we need a field catalog in which we will define the properties of the field. So for that, So here we have something called SLIS FieldCat ALV. This includes lot of things. So what we can do, we can refer this structure directly in our program. So this one will act as an internal table, and then here you can see this will act as a work area because this is type this occurs1. Occurs1 means it's basically it will act as a work area. We'll just take it from here. So all you need to do, you need to remember only these two things: SLIS FieldCat ALV, SLIS T FieldCat ALV, something like this. And then what I can do, data, like this, IT underscore fcat type table of this will be our work area. One second, I'll get some water and then okay. So we'll resume this. So what we are doing here is basically for the field catalog we are declaring an internal table and then we are declaring a work area. Now field catalog itself will have a lot of properties as I mentioned earlier. Okay, one second. Basically, okay, there is a problem. Basically, if you go here, so this one is type this, and this one is already declared as a type here. So basically, and then they are saying that it occurs one. So occurs one is a classic way of declaring an internal table. You simply consider that whenever there is an occurs one, that would be an internal table. That won't be a work area. So whatever I told was other way around actually. So IT fcat type SLIS underscore T underscore FieldCat ALV WFCat type like this. So whenever you create an ALV program, you just blindly copy paste these two things. Now what we will do, initialization. So we are not doing anything on add selection screen, we will leave it as it is. Start of selection, these are the events. End of selection. Top of page, end of page we will leave now because we are working on an ALV report. So if I go to my previous report, we have initialization at selection screen, start of selection, end of selection, top of page. So top of page, end of page, because here we are working on ALV format, we will just forget it for now. And then I'm not doing any validation on this, we will leave it as it is. Initialization, maybe you can do a refresh. 1 second, I'm getting a call. Okay, so we'll just refresh our internal table. IT underscore VPAK, and then we'll clear the work area. And then we can do it here, or what we can do, we can remove it from here. And whenever we are doing our data fetch, data selection, let's select this, get data, double click, put it in F01 like we did earlier, come here, and before fetching the data you can do a clear like this. This one is also, this one is also an approach of doing it, because initialization will be triggered only once, But then if you're calling this subroutine maybe multiple times in the program, so multiple times this internal table will be refreshed. So based on your needs you can do it. And then I can do a simple select. So what all things we are going to select? Let's go in the include, top include, from equivalent till AUGRU. Okay. From VBELN till AUGRU. Competence. Select those fields from VBUK into table IT underscore VBUK, where VBELN into where VBELN in S underscore. So you already know the concept of select option. So basically what all things are there: sign option, low and high, as I explained some time back. So we are fetching the data based on the data given in the selection screen. Okay. Now I want to do one more thing here. That could be tricky and then useful as well. So I want to check if s underscore VBELN. So if not s underscore VBELN is initial, which means there is some value in s underscore VBELN. If that is the case, then it will go and fetch based on the selection screen. Else, if there is no value in the select option, then it will try to fetch all the records. Because our range is blank, so system won't get any criteria, it will try to fetch everything. But then at runtime there might be millions of records in a production system. So what we can do, we will restrict it up to certain records. Maybe we'll copy the same select query, but then instead of making it like this, I'll restrict it by the number of rows up to 1000 rows. So by doing this, basically we are trying to improve the performance of our report. Anyway, it's a sample report, so we can do whatever we want. But then I don't want to go and fetch all the records if I don't enter anything into the selection screen. So now I have my data with me. Next thing, so data selection is done. Then if not IT underscore VBAK is initial, then perform F underscore field catalog means we will decide on the properties of our field catalog. So obviously that subroutine does not exist, so we will create it. So in my field catalog, we'll go to our top again, and then I declare two things here. So this and this both are same, only difference is this is an internal table, this is a work area. If I double click here, and then if I double click here, I double click here, so I get some of the things, some of the properties which will be useful for me. For example, row position, column position, field name, which table it refers to. So, and then what should be the heading of that particular column. So we have selection text long, medium and short. So depending on the length, you can use any of these fields. So what we are going to do, we are going to take these four things in my field catalog, in our field catalog actually, and then we are going to take the selection text also. So let's see how it actually happens. So here also what we can do, refresh Now everything is clear, everything is okay. Now we will set the properties of the field catalog in the work area. So WA underscore F, before that what all things I copied. So row position hyphen this equal to first row. Then again column position first column, then field name, so field name is what? Field name is VBELN. Next tab name, tab name is IT underscore VBAK. So from this table, this field, first row, first column, and then selection text. So like this, copy this, like this, and then remove this because it's not needed. Now append this property in a internal table, in an internal table. So append w underscore cat to IT underscore cat clear. Now by doing this, I have set the properties of my first field. If I activate this, let's see if there is any kind of error. So no error at all as of now. So we have from here till here, we have these many fields. So what we will do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we'll copy this block for 11 times and then we will make the required changes. Like this. So next time it will be second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column, sixth column. If we don't provide this, then SAP will take it automatically. Seventh column, eighth column, ninth column, 10th column, and then 11th column. Do pretty printer so that it looks good. Okay, then I'll go and copy the description. So first is WebLAN, second is ERDAT, next is ERCDT, next is ERNAM, next is ANGDT, BNDDT, then AUDAT, VB type, ERVOT, then AUART, then AUGRE. Now we have already set three properties. This is common for everything, but then this one is hard coded. If you see here, this is hard coded, so it will come in the output, that is fine. But then what if there are users who are working across the globe and they want to see the description in different languages? So in that case we want to create text. So I think I have already explained in some of the tutorial wherein we can go to our text elements, and we can, even for that matter sales document also, we can do a translation. We can translate this. Similarly, we will be having text symbols also. So for example, if I copy it from here till here, and if I go to my text symbol, if I provide it here and hit enter, so like this. So you give the numbering here, copy paste the data, hit enter. So this will be stored here. Now the benefit of this is we can do a translation. We can go to translation, we can maintain a translation of this. Save this, activate. Now go back and replace everything, all the hard coded things, with our text symbol. Zero, zero. This will be 2. Seven, 8, 10. There is some mismatch. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1, 4, 4, 1, 5, 5, 1, 6, 6, 1, 7, 7, 1, 8, 8. Indivisible and DDT. 80, 80. Number it should be AUD, 80. It would be type. Remove this. Will be type. 9th is TRVOG. So make it 10. AUART. So I'm just matching the field sequence, nothing else. And then 11th. This should be 11. This should be 10. 11. now we are good. Our field catalog is done. And then perform display. Okay, now what we can do here is we can call the standard function module. We can provide some of the things here. For example, which program? So we will provide the same program. So to provide the same program, what we can do, we can provide the runtime variable psi rep id. So it will capture the program name at runtime, and then for it now make it. I will tell you the significance of this later. Give the internal table here, it underscore vbak. Open the exceptions, and then this one fcat. So I call this function module. I have provided the program name, which will be my program name at runtime. I have given the field catalog details here. I have given ICV, let's discuss it later. And then my internal table output. Let's go to the transaction, run it, execute this. You can see that those fields, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So these fields are here now. So if you see, if you would have noticed that the last two fields are showing same values because the field name was same. So I have just modified this. Now if I execute this, you see that we have an ALV report. This is my header, and then we have some of the standard things coming automatically. For example, I can select this, I can sort it descending, I can put a filter, I can give some value here, so only that value will be shown. Here if I hit F4, it will call the standard search hill. Stop, and let's say select this. I will have only one value. So you can go there, you can delete the filter. So that button will come automatically. And then you can download it into an Excel sheet, spreadsheet. The other option is list, export, spreadsheet. You can export it to an Excel sheet like this. Export local file. So it was the same option. And then what I can do, for example, whenever I want to see this report, I want to see this date here. So what I can do, I can save this change of the order as a layout. I can give a name as like this. Okay, let's select this. Something like this. Something you can put some crap, but not at real time. So whenever you run this report, you can go here. You can select this. So as of now, document date coming here. If you select this, it will come here. So these are some of the things you can do as a part of our ALV report. So I think we are good for today. ALV report, I would say it's done. Then will do tomorrow. PF commands, join statement. So these things we will be doing tomorrow. But then my suggestion would be you go ahead and then try to create a sample ALV report, because it's very easy. Everything is taken care by this particular function module, and then every parameter has its own significance. If you get some time, you can try to explore it, or else I'll also try to tell you as much as possible. So simple report, simple events, simple subroutines, and then nothing else. So we'll just uh, close this session for today. We'll see you again tomorrow, and then I'll try to finish this complete ABAP course as soon as possible, so that we can move to advanced topics like workflow and then object-oriented programming. So we're done for today. We'll see you again tomorrow.